Welcome to Gabe in the Kitchen. Today we're going to be making fried rice. Now there is a special occasion for this fried rice, so I'm going to do my absolute best. Anyway, we're going to start with all the prep work. My advice would be to prep everything in advance. Have them sitting in small bowls or large bowls, whatever you got, or containers. And then when you come to the actual cooking, everything can just be thrown in. You don't have to think about, oh no, I forgot my carrot. Oh no, how much seasoning do I need? Prep everything in advance. Right, so right now I'm just gonna peel and dice some carrots and dice my onion as well. You can use a small onion, the whole thing, half a large onion, or about half a medium onion as well. Did I say orange? Onion. So start by peeling this. All you need is what do you call these things? A potato scraper? Potato skin peelers? Peelers. Works beautifully for carrots. If you have some foil, you can squeeze that up and just scrape the carrot skin. It will do pretty much the same thing as well. So now that we've got those all peeled, you can give them a rinse or not. Dirt was on the outside, so you should be fine. And now we chop. So for fried rice purposes, we don't want to, what do you call them? We don't want quarters, they're far too large. We want kind of like 1/6 or even 1/8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the knife very carefully, guys. Make sure you have control over the knife and the carrot. And then chop near the outside like so. And then chop about, what would you call that? Half a centimeter, 1 centimeter next to it. And then one more. And then you want to turn it around and do the same. Now this doesn't have to be perfectly straight, guys. The idea is to chop most of them how you want them to be. And do the same thing there, and one more, like that. And then when you chop, be careful with your fingers, guys. I like to hold things as far away as possible. You end up with these sizes, and they cook really quickly. They blend quite nicely into the rice as well, and you don't have to worry about, you know, having to overcook or anything like that. That's it. So now I'm just gonna grab all the carrots and place into a nice container just to hold it, and then we'll start prepping the onions. So now with your onion, chop it directly in half like so, and then I tend to go for the edge till I get to the outer skin, and then that just peels off nicely like that. I'll peel that off and move all that to the side. And then all this is done with a chef's knife, by the way, guys. Make sure your knife is nice and sharp, and make sure you've got a good grip of the knife. All you want to do with the onions, you don't want them super fine, you don't want them super thick, just dice them. So from the side, you know, you probably learned this in your GCSE cooking class. You're gonna go through and slice them like so. Watch your fingers, guys, please. And then when you turn them on its side, you know the whole half thing? Unnecessary. The onion is in layers anyway. So what are you chopping? If you slice halfway through, you haven't really done anything because the onion is literally in layers anyway. So each dice, should I say, will be as thick as one of these layers. So when I chop through here, which I see a lot, notice that layer hasn't even been touched. This layer up here is still the same thing. Like, you're wasting your time, guys. So just straight down like so, and then you can start chopping away. The other reason you don't want to cut this way is because it makes the whole thing slide, and then when you're chopping down, you'll notice the whole thing starts to shift away and it doesn't hold its structure. And another thing to bear in mind, after we've chopped like so, you can't just go around and make it finer if you so wish. So the whole point, I just don't understand why that's just become a thing that people do now. I don't know who started, what kind of chef. It's probably Jamie Oliver, let's be honest. But still, no need. So now we're gonna chop or dice our chicken. Now I have washed this chicken. I know there's debate around the internet. Well, I don't know if it's debate. Most people agree you should not wash your chicken. Reason being, you know, the splatters of water could get on your surfaces and they're going to be carrying bacteria and all this and all that. Well, the easiest solution is if you grab yourself one of these bowls, or any bowl, one of these bowls, you can wash it in there and carefully pour it into the sink. So then you don't get any splatters of water anywhere. And once you do that, you can just disinfect your sink and let it disinfect for as long as you don't, so you need to use it next, and then problem solved. Now you have clean chicken. If you want to see what brand of chicken I use and how I store it and all that stuff, I'll leave a link to that video, probably somewhere top left or right in the middle, and you can see that for yourselves. But yes, this is from a multi-pack, and I had to split it up and freeze it. So this is previously frozen chicken, and to be fair, it's still a little bit frozen on my hand. But anyway, now I'm just going to chop that up into near bite-sized pieces because I'm going to be using it for fried rice. And I'm going to clean up the chicken as much as I can. So there's little bits. It's just not the best quality chicken. I think that's a bit of bone, guys. Look at that. That's literally bone. Wow. Yeah, so I need to... Never again am I buying this brand. If you want to see the brand, check out the video. I'll clean it up as much as I can. And then I'm just going to dice away. So for the end of the chicken, you can just dice it however you wish. And then from there on, you want to get, I'd say about, what would you call that? Just 2 centimeter cubes? Yeah, about 2 centimeter cubes. And I'll just do that for the chicken all the way through. When you get to this part of the chicken, you can see there's quite a bit of cartilage left over there and gristle, I'll call it. You don't want that in your food, so you want to get rid of that. So I'm going to chop as normal. Look at that. I mean, what is that? Some kind of shattered bone in there? Honestly, I'm just going to remove that whole piece. Get rid of that. So now, chicken's all diced. And look at the waste, guys. Look at this. Never again am I buying this brand of chicken. Look at the state of this. Crushed bone, more clotted blood, all that shit. You just had to clean that off. But yeah, shouldn't have. I hope it hasn't affected the taste of the actual chicken. But yes, now we have beautifully cleaned and diced chicken. I'm just gonna pick all that up and place it. Okay, so now we're at the exciting bit, the seasoning. So I've got here, well, not many people have heard of this, chicken stock powder. This particular brand is halal certified, and it's basically like a seasoning, but it's chicken stock, just dried chicken stock. So you can make this into liquid chicken stock if you dissolve it in the proper number of volume of water. It's all, the instructions are all on there. So all I'm going to do is use it as my salt. So you'll notice in my cooking I never use salt because everything has salt. I mean, look at the first ingredient, guys, salt. So you don't need to be using salt when you're using stuff like this. For chicken this much, I would say, guys, about 1 teaspoon of chicken stock powder, a few sprigs of Maggi, just give it about that many. Guys, you cook with the soul, man. We're not baking. Anyway, smoked paprika. You want about, again, a teaspoon in there. The trick is to under season because we're going to coat this chicken later in another glaze. And that glaze we can adjust depending on what this tastes like after it's fried. So my trick would be always under season. About a teaspoon of curry powder. Again, this is not Italian season. I just got a big pack of curry powder and put it in there. You want your garlic granules. You can use garlic powder if you want, and you can use chopped garlic if you want. You can use the pureed one that's, you know, sold in supermarkets. About a teaspoon of that in there. Black pepper. You need about half a teaspoon in there. MSG. Whoops. You need about 1 teaspoon in there. That's all flavor, guys. Don't worry about MSG. And then mixed herbs, or herbs as the guys would say. You need about 1 in there. Then you're just gonna put some oil on there. about a teaspoon and a half, maybe just 1 teaspoon on there. And now I'm gonna mix it before I add cornstarch because it gets a little bit annoying to mix the cornstarch and it gets sticky. So mix this before you add your cornstarch. So I've just given that a mix, and that's what you should have. Now, in the past, I've been crazy enough to taste that, and I will. I'm not gonna consume this, guys. I'm just gonna put it to my tongue. That's about right. It's not too salty, which is just where we want it. And we'll adjust the salt later, as I said. So now, I'm gonna leave this to the side quite carefully and add corn flour. That's the secret to the Chinese salt and pepper chicken and all that stuff. So you need about a tablespoon for this much chicken. I'm a visual person, so I'm gonna just visualize it coating all the chicken. That's plenty. And this time, this might not be enough, the spoon, so I might have to get my hands in there, but give that a mix. It's gonna look something like this. And then, don't worry guys, there's definitely enough in here. I'm gonna add a bit of water just to help it mix. Okay, so just about 1/4 teaspoon of water just to help it mix. And we'll add 1/4 at a time till we have a nice thick slurry. You're gonna make sure all the seasoning's sticking to the chicken, all the chicken's got some coating on there. And that's all we need, guys. So this is about right. Yeah, so you want to leave that to marinate at least an hour to overnight, but we're going to use it immediately because honestly, I've tried leaving it to marinate. It makes literally no difference. So we're just going to use it straight away, but it's up to you. You can marinate it if you wish. So now we're going to fry the chicken. You want to get yourself a large wok. This is the same wok we're going to use to do the fried rice, so it doesn't matter. It's carbon steel, so you can see the seasoning starting to stick on it a little bit, and that's exactly what you want. And now I'm just going to fill, I'd say about 6 centimeters deep, because our chicken pieces aren't that thick, so we just need to make sure that they're submerged. So about this much oil where the chicken can get right in there. We're going to be stirring it anyway, so that's as much oil as you want. And you want to make sure you get a nice frying oil. This one is from Iceland. Does it say what type of oil it is? What?
Is it Lidl?
It's Iceland? Where's Lidl?
Lidl
Oh, it's from Lidl. Anyway, thanks, Jess. So this one is rapeseed oil. So if you can get pure rapeseed oil, go for it. I think sunflower oil you want to avoid, and vegetable oil you want to avoid. You want a nice frying oil like that. Cool. So as we wait for the oil to come to temperature, we're going to be efficient and we're going to make our seasoning mix for the actual rice. So the reason we make the mix before the rice is because when we start cooking everything on the hot wok, you want everything to be ready just to go straight in. We'll need about similar seasoning to the chicken, about a teaspoon of curry powder. Now I have to remember the volume of chicken I've got. This is what I usually use, but obviously I need a bit more. I'm going to use a little bit of garlic powder because we're going to be using pureed garlic and ginger paste. Now you want to get some garam masala. This is my secret ingredient. You obviously don't normally find this in fried rice. I'm going to put that right there. Smoked paprika. Ugh, can never get the... Okay. How do you measure this, guys? You see this? This is what you want to avoid. Anyway, I'm just going to gather it together like so. And then visualize how many teaspoons that is. It's about 2 teaspoons. I'm going to take off half a teaspoon because we don't need 2 teaspoons. So about 1.5 teaspoons of smoked paprika. Then we're gonna get right in there with 1 teaspoon of mixed herbs. Similarly, half a teaspoon of black pepper. Black pepper. 1 teaspoon of MSG. And then our king of seasoning, well, I guess that's technically MSG, but for me, chicken stock powder. I'm gonna use 1 heaped teaspoon of chicken stock powder and a bit, like so. So now our seasoning mix is ready for our rice. I'm gonna add the last ingredient, which is ginger and garlic paste. So again, you're gonna need about a heaped teaspoon of that to go there. And you'll see why. When it all goes into the pan, it's gonna sizzle up quite nicely. The seasoning we just done is not normal for fried rice, let's be honest. Apart from maybe salt and pepper. We're gonna do a normal seasoning, which is all our soy sauces, all our vinegars, and our garlics. The ratio is, this is one I made earlier, but I'm just gonna top it up to show you what the ratio is. So we need light soy sauce, dark soy sauce. Make sure you get yourself a good brand. You need about 2 tablespoons of both, like so. So that's my light. The light has all the flavor and the dark has all the color. So you want a nice mixture of both. So your rice looks good and tastes good. You know? Technically, you can get away with just light soy sauce because it's got all the seasoning, but it just won't look as appetizing. Then I'm gonna mix my apple cider vinegar. Yes, we have a whole tub. Don't worry, this isn't our last batch. We have like 5 liters sitting in the cupboard, and we top this up when we need. I'm just gonna put 1. Whoops, in there. And we're gonna balance that out with some brown sugar. But before we get there, I'm gonna add my ginger and garlic paste. Now all this is happening, that's too much. All this is happening whilst the oil is heating up in the background. A bit too close there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add about a tablespoon of light brown sugar. You can use dark brown sugar. It will change the way, the chemistry of the whole thing. It will cook a little bit faster. It will burn a bit quicker, and it will make the whole thing darker as well. It's about 1 tablespoon of sugar in there, and that's basically trying to make what's that soy sauce called?
Nasi goreng.
No. The sweet soy sauce. Alexa, what is sweet soy sauce called? Ketchup manis. That's it.
Sweet soy sauce is a sweetened aromatic sauce.
She's not even going to answer the damn question, but yes,
which has a darker color.
We'll mix that up and it will be ready for when we need it in a second. So, back to here. We're going to test that our oil is hot. Whew, it is hot. So guys, this fries really quickly, and depending on how hot your oil is, you might need to be stirring it a lot to prevent it from burning. And as you can see, there was enough flour on there because that's already looking very good. It takes about 2 to 5 minutes to cook in total. We did slice our chicken quite small, so it cooks quickly. You do want to taste your seasoning to see how much seasoning we're gonna need, or how much salt we need to put into our coating to balance out the saltiness. That is perfect. So we're not gonna put too much salt. Anyway. We're now going to fry the next batch. Right, so if we show them the chicken's all done, well, ready for the coating, and then wipe the surface there. Don't do this, guys. Very dangerous. Woo! Anyway, that will settle down. I'm going to grab a knife, and then you're going to need some butter. Since we've got a lot of chicken, we need a lot of butter. I'll turn down the heat and take it off the heat because getting a bit hot. Get a bit more butter. You can never have too much butter, just. Right, cold butter into the pan. Let that sizzle. garlic into the pan.
Stop.
Right, garlic in. I'm gonna put a little bit of Maggi, just a little bit, because there's enough salt on the actual chicken itself. All we want to do here is make a very nice seasoning. A little bit of vinegar, just about half a teaspoon worth. Get that in there. And then my secret ingredient, barbecue sauce. You can use this brand or whichever brand you have. That's the barbecue sauce. And then I'll just put about one teaspoon in there. Mix that up. And yes, don't worry guys, it's carbon steel, so I can use a metal utensil. Ideally you want to use wood, but oh well, let's wash it up. Full syrup. You want to get about, make sure your heat is very low for this, it burns quickly. You want to get about 2 teaspoons in here. I'm just going to take it up the heat so it doesn't burn. Just going to taste that again. It's a very sweet sauce. Might be a bit too sweet for some people. You see, that's right up our alley. But I don't, because I'm not cooking for ourselves. I'm gonna add more barbecue. But yes, you can use the same basics that I've used here, and then adjust it to your own taste, guys. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing, you know? If you prefer more barbecue taste, just put a shit ton more barbecue in there. If you don't like barbecue, use ketchup. Just don't use any white sauces, guys. Come on. But now we've got our sweet sauce. Chicken's got a little bit of a kick to it. I'm just gonna add it all in. Oh, did you hear that crunch, guys? Yeah, unfortunately, you're gonna lose that crunch. As I said, this is more on the verge of sweet chili chicken, and not everyone is going to be a fan of that. So I'm just going to add just a splash of vinegar, just to balance out some of that sweetness. Oh, look at that. See, I should just make it, in fact, should I make a video of just this chicken? No. We'll direct people to here if they want chicken. Anyway. Now we're going to make the actual fried rice. So, into your bowl, don't clean anything, just toss your chopped onions in there. I'm going to swap this out because I don't like the sound it's making. Wooden, much better. So you want to toss that around, make sure you grab all the seasonings from the side so they don't burn, because remember there's a lot of sugar in here, and it will burn if you neglect it. So you can't clean it. Get your wok hay, which is basically oil, clean wok, let it smoke, pour out the oil, and then put fresh oil around the rim. And then that wok hay is similar to like a charcoaly flavor. Will be right in there for you, but I think we'll be alright. And then the seasoning that we made earlier, straight in there. Give all of that a mix. Ray style. Kind of like, you know those things you can buy in the supermarket where it's nasi goreng or whatever paste that they've pre-made. This is making our own paste, right? Super easy to make. No need to ever have to buy one from the supermarket. Look at that, guys. You can bottle it up. Anyway, I'm gonna add, whoops. Jeez Louise, a bit of vinegar without losing my lid. Bit of vinegar in there just to thin it out a little bit. Some rice I made yesterday. There's a video, I'm gonna link it to show you how. It's been in the fridge, and that's the best kind of rice you want to use. Should I use all of it? I'll taste as I go along. I'll use about this much. So mix all that in. like so. And at this point, you can start tasting to make sure everything is how you want it to be. It's a little bit dry for my liking, so I'm probably going to end up using a lot more of that soy sauce mix than usual. Make sure there's no white bits of rice left. Now, carrots in. Peas. You need about as much peas as you have carrots, or a little bit less. Depends if you like. You can just omit them if you don't like peas. Sweet corn in. Then you want to move everything aside like that. This is if you're using egg. Again, it's optional because we've got a lot of milk in here. You don't really need the egg. Just get a little bit of oil, like so. Grab your egg, and give it a crack, and release that in there, like so. Scramble the egg in there, and now you can stir everything in. Yep. How many minutes have we got?
1 minute.
This
Hold on.
recording. Guys, we'll be quick with this recording because we've only got a minute of space left. So I'm just stirring up the soy sauce mix that we made earlier. Got my egg in there. I've added a bit of water just to make sure it's not too dry. Now, 1 tablespoon at a time. Okay, you don't want to go too fast. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3. Stir that and then taste before we decide if we need any more. Gonna add a bit more because it's not quite the color that I like. I don't know if it's because of the light up there. Yeah. But yes, if your rice seems a bit dry, don't be afraid to just grab some water and splash that in. Finally, but not least, our delicious chicken. When you think your rice is ready, add your chicken, like so. And we're just gonna toss that in. And yes, I have changed the ladle because the other one got a little bit too sticky. And there you have it, guys. African Asian fusion of fried rice. Even Uncle Roger would be proud of this.